Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Perry Richardson from Striper, and you're watching Show Me Your Pick with Fruitcake Tony. Rock on. You're watching.
5, 4,
Nice.
All right. Hello.
Nice pick.
Saturday night, Memorial Day
Nice set.
weekend. Yeah.
Nice to see everybody.
Yeah, it is.
TK, your shirt is freaking me out.
Wow, man.
I don't know. It's like weird. It's like 3D kind of. Got holes in it.
Memorial Day weekend holiday.
Yeah, happy
Memorial Day.
holidays, Memorial Day. Hope you are enjoying the weekend. Hope the weather's good where you are. Hope you got Monday off.
Yeah. And I stepped all over Sandra's. It's a beautiful night to be streaming. So sorry.
It is.
It's a great night to be streaming, everybody. Thanks to all who are tuning in. Please, if you would, remember to subscribe. Hit that bell to never miss an upload. We're always.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
We got a point. We should probably just move. Back to you,
I'm
Bob.
sorry. Okay. All right, Duhast. I forgot we changed our names.
You hate.
Oh, Lord.
You hate.
Tony's new favorite
You
band.
hate me.
I mentioned this band one time and look at them.
Oh no, it's just Tony loves
Favorite
them.
band.
Now. Tony likes them more than Van Halen. So
He's not.
All about that. They've been around for a long time, Tony.
Oh,
he just downloaded How to Speak
I
German.
made
so
one comment about this band and their
Next-
keyboard player, really.
next
Walking
week
on
he'll
the
be
treadmill.
yeah, but next
How do
week
you
he'll be
get it?
speaking all in German.
It's like Caligula backstage, I swear to God.
No, it's not.
That's what I know about Rammstein. They have some
Rammstein.
wild ass parties.
Anyway,
It is it is May the 28th, 2022. It's a little after 9 p.m. Saturday night. And like we say, it is Memorial Day weekend, and the show topic for tonight is the US Festival Heavy Metal Day. We're going to have some fun talking about this one. And we got a party coming up after the show.
Yeah.
We do. So,
Just remember what happens backstage.
yes. But where is our lovely call?
Except what we put on YouTube.
So, immediately following the broadcast, our May winners and tonight's winner included
Yep.
from 10 Shot Rock and Roll Trivia, excuse me, not our winner, but our player, will join us backstage in the green room.
you
after
could say
the
winner.
show.
You could say winner because they're playing against me.
Yeah.
So just say winner.
Well, yeah, see, you never know. That means that
You never know. You
you
never
never
know.
know.
And I'm going to send you also tonight's winner a backstage pass that looks like this for hanging out with us afterwards
Yeah,
at the
I love that color of nail polish, Tony, that you have. That's really good. No, on the pass.
That was me.
Oh, on the pass.
I know it was you. I know it was you.
It would look really nice on a guitar.
Hi, Chris Hunter. Who else? You know what? Who else is here?
Keith
Who
Campbell,
else?
Let's see who's here.
Leo,
What's going on, you guys?
Holly Lewis,
Oh,
Hi,
Thomas
Holly.
Santiago.
Happy
White
birthday, Thomas Santiago.
Yeah,
He had
happy
a birthday
birthday.
a day or two ago.
Hitman Dwight Bailey's in the house. Butt
Why?
Cheeks is in the house. Gretchen Zeppelin's in the house. Yo, Polly Walnuts is in the house.
Goodness, they're all here.
Mark Taft is in the house.
Z,
But
Mark
who the hell cares?
all the
I'm-
cool kids, and we'll say hello as they come on
I've-
in. But
I have a
thanks.
bone to pick with Holly because she didn't give me her new address, and so something I sent out to her came back to me.
Hey, Dad, Roach is here. Good to see all of you guys.
Yeah. Chris Hunter, nice to see you, dude. Watch your mailbox. I'm sending you a pass from Wednesday, a David Lee Roth pass. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here tonight, bro.
I know
Yeah.
he does, Holly. He'll get it to me. I'll get you that stuff out there. It was already 3 months late. What's another week?
What happened?
Because I sent. Remember, I sent everybody that donated for the Sub-Zero Heroes. I sent. I had her old address, so it came back to me.
Oh, okay.
So that's aight.
That's circumstances beyond your control.
Ah, yes, it is. Yeah, that she'll be getting one of those.
Very cool.
Over
Yeah.
there, but my Pantera one.
Yeah, nice. So we got a lot to get to tonight. We're going to
Packed
do 10
show.
shot
We do.
rock and roll trivia.
Yes.
We're going to have an after party with 4 guests.
We are.
Oh,
We're going, I've been grilling earlier. We're going to have a drink and have a bite afterwards. Yeah, and we have a special guest too in the green room
We do.
that we should go ahead and bring in. He's going to help us celebrate the US Festival,
Ladies and
Right.
gentlemen, boys and girls.
Memorial Day.
Captain Edible himself.
Yes,
Oh.
there he is.
He probably ate them all in that bowl we left back there.
All
we
right, kids.
Good on him, man.
There he is.
Yeah, baby.
Ben Coombs.
Hey,
man.
hey,
Good
hey.
to see you, my man.
Well, yeah, the green room was stocked this week. I thank you, folks. I
Hey, you're
appreciate that.
Ben,
Was.
what's up, bro?
Was.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch? Sprechen Sie Deutsch? No.
Yeah.
I'm here to represent the Canadian content, much like the US Festival itself. We had a certain amount of Canadian content on that lovely evening, as well as some German content, for Tony. That made sense. So when I heard about tonight's show, I said, he's like Memorial Day, barbecue. I said, that's enough.
Yeah.
I'm in. And then he said, US Festival. I said, Tony, quit selling it. I'm in, let's talk about possibly, for me at least, one of the greatest days in music, because sure, lots of festivals over the years, but you know what? You look at the per capita, you got 12 bands, butt cheeks. There's like 3 I don't care for. Like those are the ones where I'm over at the snack bar or possibly taking a nap. So it's rare that I'm like not a snoozer. Not a snoozer at the US Festival. Like, it's rare that, I was like, at worst case, you're a casual fan of the band. You know what I mean? So it's like, you're not going to be disappointed.
Yep.
Ben, I have to stop you. People are complimenting you on your guns, man.
Memorial Day weekend. I'm wearing the same clothes I wore actually the last time I was hanging out in Charles and Tony's neck of the woods down at Charlotte Motor Speedway, where my cousin's hanging out.
Oh shit!
That's what I was wearing when I ended up backstage at Skinner's somehow. I don't know. I cut to a friend, Sandra, and I looked up. I went, "That's a '58 Explorer." Like I'm a gear nut, but I went,
"Hey, Andrew,
there's not a lot of those in the wild. There's only like 18, 19 of those." And I'm like, "Wait a minute, Ricky Medlock owns one of those. What? How? And then security asked the same question. How? I said, not sure. But I was polite about it. And he says, you can stand over here. And I said, that's fine. Can I snap some photos of their gear? He said, Sure. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, thank you.
My cousin texted me, he goes, hey, we're 50 feet in front of the stage. I'm like, yeah, I'm okay right here.
Yeah.
Where are you? I'll tell you later.
Yep.
Well, Ben,
Yep, that was
You
5
ain't
years
good,
ago this
David.
weekend.
you would normally be here in Charlotte
Normally,
right
yeah.
now, right? Normally.
Exactly. Normally, yeah.
Wow.
Between things in life and the last couple of years, things have been shut down. But fortunately, my cousin's able to at least fly in for the weekend, so he's there in my seat, as it were.
Cool.
Well, I was talking to Tony, I guess it was a week ago or something. We were backstage. I don't even think Tony might remember this, but we were basically, I was saying, Ben's normally here this time of year. We could have met up with you. And I think I even mentioned it on a show.
Mhm.
But it was your birthday very, very recently. I grabbed you something because when I heard that you weren't going to be here, I knew that you really wanted to be here. You know what I'm saying, bro? And
That's true.
it is the Coca-Cola 600 weekend, and
It is.
Charlotte Motor Speedway is quite literally just down the road from me. So I grabbed you a birthday gift.
Ooh,
Medium? You're medium, right?
I am.
All right. Well, this is all you, my man.
Depending on the amount of cold snacks I drink.
Yeah.
There's a
Oh,
Nice.
2022 Charlotte Coca-Cola 600.
That's the event. Yeah, that's the official event tee that I'll be honest, Charles, in the amount of years I went down, I never bought one of those. I always wanted one. The closest I came was there's one souvenir stand in the infield. Okay.
Yeah.
And they sold one t-shirt you could not get anywhere else in the world. And that was one that said Redneck Hill, because there's a berm in the infield where all the campers are with the flags and the lack of sleeves like this. And
wow, that's some nerd stuff right there. That's some nerd
they had
stuff.
the Redneck Hill shirt, and I was like, that's the one I
Wow.
get.
Very
Which
cool.
have now been banned because they're not politically correct. I'm like, I don't know. I'm Canadian. When I show up, I'm white, and when I leave, I'm red. So,
Andrew,
Anyway.
nice to see you, sir.
Hopefully next year we can hook
I'm
up
hoping.
with you, and
yes.
maybe sooner. We'll see how things go. But
Well,
anyway.
we're
Happy
running
birthday, my
we're
man.
running the fall race there, Charles, as well. October. So that I
Yeah.
can't rule it
That's
out.
true. That's true.
So you were saying, Ben, that down at the race tonight is Steve Miller, and tomorrow night is who?
Tomorrow is Leonard Skinnard before the race. So they'll be
Nice.
going on stage around 4 p.m. And my cousin reported in. He isn't currently watching. Well, Steve might be off stage by now, but here we go. This is out front of the Speedway in the Fan Fest area. And my cousin's more on the side stage, checking out Steve Miller.
Yeah.
And that was
Actually, you know what? That's fine because no one dug. Oh, there we go. I was going to
Yeah.
say he's not seeing that clearly about now because I'm pretty sure he's been into the Mountain Kool-Aid.
All right.
Well, again, just in my honor, I'm sure. Honest.
It's all about tradition at this point, right?
It is. It is.
And it
Like
is
I
Memorial.
haven't actually drank alcohol since last year, but I probably would be this weekend down there.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Nice.
That's cool, man.
Let me say, while I see Andrew in the chat, go check out his
What's up,
channel.
Andrew?
Come on, Andrew.
His links are down below in the
I'll be
description.
posting it here.
Congrats on the growth of your channel, Andrew.
man.
It's
Yes.
really
Yeah.
been blowing up lately.
Very cool.
3K, Andrew.
Very cool.
Right
No
on.
spoilers, Keith, please.
Well
I told him what to rate
deserved.
with you.
Absolutely well deserved.
I know we got another NASCAR fan in the chat there with Keith Campbell. So. And he's moving hopefully to your neck of the woods, folks. The North Carolinas. He asked me where, and I said, I'd say here.
Yeah.
I told him Kannapolis is ripe for the picking, Charles.
This is,
Forget Mooresville. Forget
yeah, this is
Mooresville.
the heart of it all right here. That's
guys, I forgot to mention
Hey, Janice.
something earlier. Hello, Janice. We have a serious unboxing tonight, right here on the show.
Oh yeah.
But what are we
Yeah.
doing right now?
You can do whenever you want.
Open it right now.
You want to do it right now?
Sure.
I have no patience for this kind of
You
stuff.
have no
Okay.
patience at all. Sanders got no patience. None
Andrew's
at
the one
all.
that's still
I got a
awake at
package
5:30
from,
in the morning on
I
Christmas.
got a package
Day,
from
I bet.
Brendan B. Squared.
Yeah.
I am.
And
You got to zip that thing open, man.
all right, let's do this.
Rip.
Should put him in the highlight him. Okay, where's he at?
Hey,
Yep,
Toby.
thank you.
Oh, there he
Oops. I thought that was me, but it wasn't.
People hitting all. Yeah, let's. This is professional. You don't expect this on my channel, folks. I'm lucky to hit that live button and end button. Beyond that,
You can't work the controls. Yes, you can.
It's
some weeks are tougher than others, depending on the guest.
Yeah. Don't cut yourself, man.
Oh,
Don't cut yourself.
Hey, Tim.
yeah, I know the size of that box.
It's a keychain. So
Exactly, I know. It's a guitar pick.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hence the show and the unboxing. I get it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Oh, this is so flipping cool. Oh man, Brendan, dude.
Screenshot.
It's a lot of bubble wrap.
That's my favorite reaction with all the gear
Mark
shaping.
Twain, isn't it?
Sandra, get ready.
Oh,
Yes.
hang on.
The gas.
Hang on.
Get your trigger ready.
Oh.
Get your trigger ready.
You know, I've always wondered like what they feel like, you know, and how heavy are they? And
There you go.
Not so
I
much.
was pretty close.
I dig that box.
It's flipping cool, Brendan.
That's
Oh,
cool,
man.
Mark Twain. That's
Yeah,
cool.
man.
Now, I have a question for you, Brendan.
Yeah,
And
sure.
I noticed that cigar box is like twice as deep as the one that you did for me.
Yeah.
Now, do you hear that tonally different?
You can kind of acoustically. I didn't put any sound holes in it because I didn't want to really cut the
Hold
box.
hold
Sure.
hold that body up to it.
It rings out
I don't
really
know.
nice.
It's probably not in tune. I loosened them a
That's
little.
fine. We're gonna tune this baby up.
All right.
That is such a badass
And
box.
look at that reverse headstock. That is so flipping metal. I love this. And this, you know, this neck is,
It's
you know,
kind
Brendan, you put a lot of detail into this thing.
it's,
buddy.
it's chunky.
That's
but
the
it's-
signature butt cheeks neck profile too. I see where
Yeah.
some people roll the fretboard edges. No, butt cheeks just rolls the neck edges.
It's it needs to have
I
mass
love it.
for it to acoustically
Yeah.
ring out,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And you signed it. You're so cool, Brennan.
Yeah.
My goodness, dude. Thank you. Thank
You
you.
bet, man. My pleasure, dude.
This is
Right on.
super cool.
Enjoy it. Enjoy
Show
it,
the
sir.
back.
What did I write on there? Oh yeah, you play this in good health. You rock. Yep. Nice.
Very nice. Thank you, Brennan. Thank you.
Absolutely my pleasure, sir. Enjoy.
I think everyone needs to have one of those in the arsenal. Just
I think everybody
You know,
on this show right now has one.
when you
have
look,
one?
they do, I believe, but when you look at these and you have never touched one, they appear to be more frail and more delicate
Oh, they're
than they
not.
are. This thing
Yeah.
is flipping solid, dude. It's because
yeah.
the neck. It's because it's got the neck and it's set.
It's a neck. It's a neck through too.
That's
so,
what. That's what I meant
Yeah.
to say. This thing is really stable, very stable. It rings out.
Yeah,
This is cool, guys.
I printed that nut too. 3D printed that nut. So
really.
yeah, pretty cool.
You all live
So
here.
tuning, it's obviously really.
I tuned it open G, so I tuned it GDG.
Okay.
So you can tune it however you want: EBE, GDG, DAD, whatever. It's
Wherever you want to
151.
put the virtual capo.
Yeah,
That is really cool, guys.
yeah, and you can kind of move the bridge a little bit if you want to intonate it a little. You know, down, that isn't set, so you can kind of move it. But yeah,
Very nice, Brennan. Thank you so very
Hey,
much, bro.
you bet,
This
buddy.
is
You
this
bet.
is extra special. Thank you.
Enjoy
So
it, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Right on.
nice. You're welcome.
Very
Yeah.
good.
So now Charles has one. T-Kick's got two. Ben's got one. Sandra's got one. I gotta get one to Tommy eventually.
there it is, right.
Where is it?
Oh, right there.
Oh, there it is.
She's right in the arsenal.
Yeah. Cool.
Because they,
Elijah
like I
White
say, they
Bailey.
do a thing. They have a sound. It's like I want old dirty blues, but I don't feel like miking up a parlor acoustic that I don't currently own.
Yeah,
Guess
it's
what?
filthy.
That clean really gets you in there, and tweaking the EQs, you can make it sound a little dobro-y,
Yep.
and then of course, then you can add
Throw a little dirt on it, it gets filthy. Throw a little dirt on there. Charles, they love fuzz pedals. So if you got fuzz or distortion,
plug this thing in, man.
yeah, loves it.
I run it through the
I'm
same
gonna
rig that you
crank it,
heard
dude.
off air, Brendan. That's
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you're going for the 80s sound? Well, 80s on the Cigar box.
Yeah.
Because why not?
Yep. Nah, it's good. And I don't. Does yours have that same pickup, Ben? I can't remember. I think
The
it
nice
does,
low output, glassy.
Yeah, it's like 3K, I think. Between 3 and 4K output, but
which is nice because you can lay the gain into it and it doesn't get all feedbacky.
Right.
So
it's just
We have the
really
same
nice.
pickup. Is Ben and mine's the same, or
Yeah. I've gone exclusively to those now for quite a while now. The guy I get them from, he puts my logo on it and everything. It's awesome.
Have you tried a dual pickup?
I have.
Okay.
I did one for a buddy of mine. I did a P90 and one of the other ones that I had. It sounded pretty good. I did a 4-string. I'm not.
Would
big
that
on
be like a
doing-
P45 because there's only 3 strings?
Yeah, that was 4 strings. So it's like a P75 maybe.
That is super nice, Charles.
I absolutely fucking love this thing, man. Thank you so much, Brendan.
You bet. You got it.
Been waiting
You
for
got
one
it,
of
man.
these for a long time.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I saw one of these, I said, man, and you were playing slide on it.
Yeah.
And I said, man, you know what? That's something to have.
It's some of them don't need any stickers or anything. Some do. Some I like putting stickers on. Some the art is there. Like Ben's and yours. I didn't.
I've debated at times, but I got to wait for the right decal will reach out.
The right decal, yeah.
We were backstage.
I think it's due for a pinup girl or two. She might need a pinup girl or two.
Okay.
Yeah.
We were backstage a couple 2-3 weeks ago, and we asked if he had anything new, and he held up a couple, and Charles said, sold.
Yeah. That's it.
Hold up the paddle.
Originally, I wanted to go like a traditional cigar box, and I wanted to go like South American, something of that nature. And I found one in multicolor, and it was really cool. Hard to reproduce though, and I was throwing him all these really great ideas, but when I saw that, I just said, "Man, that thing has got."
So, B, you've made a couple of, you make these things on the printer, these things, and of course,
Got some of those. Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
Those are
And
so
the butt.
of course.
Ben do you have a butt, Ben? Did I send you a butt?
You make these
Must
too.
have. Must have.
Yeah, I made that. Yeah. I got to send you a butt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need your butt in my life, Brendan.
Well, you have my butt cheeks on your
do.
pic. So yes, yeah, I do. I bought the 3D printer to make parts for the cigar box stuff, like bridges and nuts and stuff.
What about
Could you use that as a pic, T?
striped? No,
you'd
striped.
have to. Yeah, you got to paint. I'd have to paint that. That's something I could try. Yeah.
Not a lot of painting there.
No.
Yeah.
That's something worth trying. Nice. Wow, Charles, you're already on the Facebook. You already got screenshots of you on the Facebook.
Oh, nice.
Really?
Yeah, nice.
You guys don't waste any time.
No way, Ray.
They're like professionals and stuff.
Nice.
Yes, sir.
Nice.
I'm just fixated on trying to find a pinup girl decal for that cigar box now. Need something with country theme if possible. Good thing I bought a 100-pack off the Jungle website, so we'll
Find like
something.
a little joint or something and put it in that little lion's mouth or something. That's what I thought you were going to do.
Sorry, I don't roll them that small.
No, I know.
I,
Big
that's
fatty.
just, yeah.
You know, Charles is our buddy and all, but it is very cool that our buddy was at
Yes.
the biggest, in hindsight, the biggest rock day in hard rock
Yep.
in history.
Yeah, man.
Heavy
It
Metal
was,
Day at the US Festival.
It
Not-
was talked about for months before it ever came
Oh,
up,
we
and the
found it.
hype was just ridiculous.
There was like well over
I
300,000
only-
people too, right?
Look,
lot of
I said it before, and I'll say it again. I was standing in a tent with a bunch of people, and there was like 9 sheriffs. There was cops everywhere, but there was like 9 sheriffs in a group, and I heard them talking. And this one like lieutenant kind of guy, he says, "Man, there's 500,000 people here." That's what came out of his mouth. I believe it. It was ridiculous. When you think of people a quarter mile wide, almost a third of a mile wide, and a mile long, and when I say a mile of people, I'm talking about a mile of solid people with no gaps, just massive packed people. I'd never seen anything like it. And I did. It's the biggest venue I ever worked. It's the show that literally turned the corner doing those kind of shows. It was about 1 year later, I was ready to kind of wrap it up doing that kind of work. Plus I was getting older and I was kind of maturing out of it. But that was a brutal show. I worked 2 of the 3 days. And when Van Halen finally left the stage, I got to tell you, it was weird. It was almost like a light bulb went off in my head and it said, "You know what? You need to just get out of here because you've had enough of this." And they weren't shorthanded. It wasn't like I left them in a lurch at all. They had just massive people around. But it was interesting to see that. And there were moments when different bands hit the stage, and I'll go into it. I'll go into it from start to finish if you guys want. Day one was interesting because day one, the Clash was the headliner, and the vibe coming from the media. See, this thing was totally televised. In fact, it was a worldwide event, quite literally a worldwide event. There was news crews from all over the world, and so it was totally international. The sheer number of people on Heavy Metal Day was, I don't believe they expected it to be quite that big. I really don't. Because the crowd, I would say there was easily 150,000 more people on day 2 than there was on day 1. And day 1 was huge. It was huge. There was all kinds of great bands. Stray Cats, like I said, The Clash, Oingo Boingo played.
Nice.
Wall of Voodoo. It was just, it was not heavy metal, but it was really good music. The people were into it, but some people were still the barricade. I told the story before. Glen Helen Regional Park is in a valley, and the valley goes from high to low. They brought everyone in kind of from the side a little bit, but from high, and they filtered them in, and they all filtered down to the stage. When you came through the gate, you were 1.25 miles to 1.5 miles away from the stage, walking.
It's hard to fathom.
And it is hard to fathom. And distance becomes kind of weird because you don't talk in number, and you're not talking about feet. You're talking about, it's 1/4 mile away. It's about 1/2 mile over there. We got to get a cart because it'll take us 25 minutes to walk there. Oh, dude, see? That's
perfect, man. That's awesome.
Bro. Hey, Ben, hold on. I'll hold mine.
Nice.
Bro.
Look at that. Yeah, see, Ben had the one with when the guy was still putting the screws in them, right, to hold them down.
Uh-huh.
But he's since started making them without screw holes and just using double-sided tape.
That is so cool, dude. So cool.
The pickup.
Man.
Yeah.
Nice. But on the first day, there was a lot of drama that was being turning up. It wasn't just drama in the crowd and, people, it was 114 degrees, 114 degrees, desert heat, Glen Helen Regional Park, San Bernardino, California. after about 3 to 4 hours, I would say around 12, 1 o'clock, when the sun was just straight overhead, people were starting to, you know, feel it. On day one from the get-go, there was some violence. A guy actually, there was a murder at it.
Gee.
There was, you know, and the media was exploiting everything they could possibly exploit. They were
Oh, no
talking,
doubt.
and I mean, they were talking about, there was a David Lee Roth, you know, we know that guy, right?
I've heard of them.
He was just flat out going against the Clash. They were going back and forth. And at one point during the end of the show, during the Clash, while the Clash was performing, on the big screen up above them, but they couldn't see it, there was a picture of a check, an actual check. Somebody took a photograph and put it up on there, and it was Van Halen's check. And they were, I don't know who did it, but it got major coverage, and it was like laughed about. The Clash didn't like it, and there was retaliation.
Yeah.
That was just the beginning of the drama. But I have to say this. If you were behind that stage and you were a part of the production of the music, it was state of the art. They had a system where they had everyone on casters and rollers, and they would literally roll out, like when Quiet Riot's rig was rolled out onto that stage, it was three things. It was a wall of bass amps, it was a drum set, and it was a wall of Marshall stacks. Wow. And that was it. There was no glitz and glamour to it. It was straight on production. Now, as the day got on and the bands got bigger, things like the lights and when Judas Priest hit the stage, and I'll tell you about that. They brought some of their bells and whistles with them, but the first day, the very early morning when I started on the very first day, I was at the front gate and I was literally patting people, and there was all these trash cans, and we were taking people's drinks, we were taking their food. They wouldn't let them bring it in. And so when I say a couple of 100,000 people who had food took their food and threw it in the dumpsters, I watched that go on for hours because they didn't want to walk 2 miles back to their car, and they couldn't carry it in, and they wanted to get to that stage. So everyone who showed up had sort of this, it was a give and take kind of thing.
Sure.
They tried to make people comfortable. They had showers. It was like a full-on campsite kind of a thing. All the amenities you could imagine. And Wozniak, he spent $12 million of his own money. That's what he lost after the fact, about $12 million after all was said and done to make this thing happen. And so they tried to make it a convenience, but here's what the problem was. People were getting hurt in massive numbers, especially at the beginning of Heavy Metal Day. When the band hit the stage, the crowd surged forward. And it wasn't like it was a major rush. It was already packed solid, but it was on a slope. And we're talking 300, let's just call it 350,000 people. Well, that 150, 200 feet, even 300 feet up to the stage, that solid wall of people, which was a quarter mile wide or a third of a mile wide, was getting compressed. And right in front of the stage, there was a steel wall that was built, and it was basically head height, basically just a little. When I leaned against it, I was there one time. I wasn't even involved in the stage work at all. I just was by there one time, and it was just a little lower than my head. It had these big steel rods that cast into the stage, and at one point, the crowd heaved forward, and the first time, and it literally lifted up. And the security guys who were back there freaked out because they thought they were going to get crushed by the crowd.
Yeah, but also in between each act, they would come out on the stage on a microphone and ask everybody to go
take
back.
A step back,
they
take
did
a step
that
back.
all day.
Yeah, it didn't work.
Thanks, Symmetry.
It just didn't work. Nobody really could heat it. And people were getting hurt. And so I remember the medical tent received like 250 to 300 people within an hour.
Wow.
And it was very scary. People were upset. They were pissed off. And I mean, they were very, very, very
Hey, Andy,
distraught.
welcome.
A lot of fights were
Yeah, it's like I think a lot of times, excuse me, nowadays for situations like that, it's tiered. Like you'll have fences every several hundred yards, even, right?
Yeah, they call them
And
crowd breaks.
it just breaks it up. It's
Crowd
like,
breaks. Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
I've seen that. Yeah.
And
yeah,
so it
yeah.
doesn't allow the whole section to surge at once. It has to be in sections. And, it
And
just
how
simply can't
long
happen.
are they? Like 100 feet each section?
yeah. And
Well-
it's just basically you can, weave
Yeah.
through essentially
I
to walk all the way
see that
forward.
in a lot of modern big stadium shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
Well, this was like Charles. You would know that other than festivals of that time, that was the early days of even having any kind of a fence. And the fence was not so much security; it was for photographers and media. That's the only reason there was a fenced off area.
they
There
had
was
a
no security people.
photo area. The stage was 2 tiered. So
Mhm.
if you're leaning against there was about 6 to 8 feet between there and the stage, and then the stage had a level. And then from that level, it went up another 2 feet, and that was where the band was performing. So for the people who were in the front row, they could look up, and they could see quite easily.
But the bands could. I don't know if Van Halen allowed them or had a say, but they could use that lower stage, which Van Halen did in their set.
Yes.
I didn't see a lot of I don't know if Triumph. That was a great set, and we're going to talk about that set, Ben. That was the shining moment in their career. But
It was up there.
yeah. Anyway, Charles.
Oh, so but with all that said, all that misery and pain that all those people were going through, as the day went on, people were doing a little drinking. The crowd was, and when I say the crowd, it was ridiculous. All right, a ridiculous number of people. I remember this one point. This guy and his fiance got separated. They were right up at the front of the stage, and she had to go over the wall. Then he came over the wall, and somehow they got split up. And so she's standing there with me at this tent by concessions. I was by these concession stands, and tears are just rolling down her eyes because to find her fiance in that group of people was 1,000,000 to 1 shot. How she where? And out of the blue, this crowd of people came walking around this little turn, and sure as shit, there's her fiance walking with this bewildered look on his face. And when those two eyes met, I swear to God, it was one of the most touching things I'd ever seen to that day.
The weight of the world.
Oh man, it was crazy. It was crazy. And so
otherwise, what you got to do? Like literally wait till everybody leaves, and you're the last 2 people there. And go, oh, hey.
You want to talk about honestly walking around in and we're talking about square miles here. We're talking about a square mile. That's a lot.
Yeah, it's not like we have cell phones where you can text, hey, I'm over by the taco stand.
Yeah, right. And everybody starts looking the same and things like that. But
what are you wearing? Black T-shirt and jeans?
Well,
really?
A lot of people were not overdressed. A lot of people were wearing as little possible as they could.
Well, I was going to say, let's be honest. It's 1982. Like you can say they're wearing Daisy Dukes, and you go, yeah, he or she, because everybody wore Daisy Dukes back in the day. We've seen the photos of Lemmy.
Well, it looks like, Charles, that you couple the fact that it was the days of the wild. I don't call it back in the day. I call it the wild, wild west, because the promoters and all that. And plus, they didn't expect that many people. That day it was 95 degrees.
That's exactly
at
right.
11 in the morning already.
Well, yeah, kind of the perfect storm, right? Like huge crowd and the heat, and and I was just thinking to myself, like, sure, you think back, like famous festivals, most of them happened within 3 to 5 years of 1970. All the ones that we think of, right? And then it gets to the point where, yes, there was festivals every year carrying on. I know my family worked at one, but they didn't have I would say attendance probably dropped in half. Like if you had 250,000 people at the first Monterey, by the late 70s, you're hoping for 100,000 people, which would cover the cost of doing the event and stuff like that. And so the S Festival was a different beast. And then it kind of spurred on, like then we had the Live Aids and stuff like that, like these big one-off events.
Europe's got them, the Monsters of Rock. That's a huge turnout.
And Europe's always been huge into the festivals because you're being compressed. You're not doing a tour of a country. You're playing 1, maybe 2 gigs in a particular country and moving on. So how do you touch all those markets? Well, you just play the festival in each of those markets, and especially in today's world where everyone flies in, which is, let's be honest, if you're in a band that's famous, like if you're in a band that people like us have a poster of on the wall, if you're a guitar player, you show up with a guitar, maybe 2, and a pedal board. Your amp supplied. God love the drummers because they show up with drumsticks and they got to play on a house kit. And that's domestic or international. I don't know how. Sure, you can move it around, but that's like, Charles, you show up at a festival. I'm like, here's a guitar to play. You told me to get you a telly. And believe me, it's a nice telly and it's set up, but it's still not your telly. So there is that, but that's what I love about festivals. It makes these quick changeovers because all they're doing is swapping out heads. Or half the time they're like, why aren't you swapping out the heads for the backline? They're like, everybody in the next 5 bands want a JCM 800. Oh, well, lucky you. Well, what's easier? The bass rig. Why? Because everybody has an SVT, and the loud bands have a second SVT with a fridge. It's pretty straightforward, which is nice. That's why and there's something about the energy of a festival. You ever notice that with bands? Bands have a better time unless it's a shit show. But like bands that they're hanging out with other bands. Hey, you're here. Hey, I haven't seen you since the last time we did something in a tent, and it's cool. And you get tents and trailers to hang out in. They're way better than a green room because first of all, they don't smell like a musician. Bonus.
Yeah. Well, if you were there and you wanted to see the show and you were a serious fan, you got as close to that stage as you could. And to get away from that stage and get to any of those amenities that I'm talking about, like showers and things of that nature. And they did have guys up at the front. They had a couple of guys with hoses and they were spraying down the crowd.
I'm sure.
And that was cool and all. But the most beautiful moment from that morning of Heavy Metal Day was when Quiet Riot actually hit the stage. It was kind of interesting because everyone kind of there was a lot of stress. When I say that, I know I say it a lot. I don't mean to sound negative, but it was a very negative experience from a concert goer standpoint for a lot of the people who went there. The stories, people are still telling the stories about it. It was the event. In fact, they called it the concert that they wanted to forget. Okay, that's literally what it went down as. Mm-hmm. But Quiet Riot hit that stage, and I can remember hearing Carlos Cavazzo. He cranked a couple of strums on his rig, right? And it was crisp and clean, man. It was clean. And then I heard Rudy, and so I'm listening. I'm not close. I'm freaking quarter mile away, maybe further, maybe a third of a mile away from the stage. But the sound was awesome. It didn't matter if you were in front of that stage or if you were a mile away, you could hear that show.
That says something.
I mean, it really was an event. Yeah. But they came out there for an opening band. I've said it before. Usually the opening show at a festival like that, the band, they throw them out there and they're sort of they're to the wolves. They're just going to get the sound right.
Yeah, they're there to remind the people that they're there at a festival, essentially.
Exactly.
All you can do is stand around. Holy crap, they threw out my booze. They threw out this. They threw out that. Oh, it's hot. Oh, yeah. When's the band going to start? And then all of a sudden, like, say, boom. All right.
Well, they played about 9 songs. I don't remember their exact set list, but I do remember this, that Metal Health had gone to #1. And so they were writing a #1 song
They were hot.
album as well.
Hot. They were everywhere that year, Charles.
And
I remember, like, they would play the opening of a door every award show. There's Quiet Riot, you know. What was it? What was the show? Solid Gold. Like, normally I wouldn't watch Solid Gold, but there's Quiet Riot on it. So guess what? Now I'm watching freaking Solid Gold because you heard Quiet Riot's gonna be on because the TV guide said so, Brendan.
And the Solid Gold dancers.
They played.
That was a bonus. Yes.
My favorite Quiet Riot song is a song called "Love's a Bitch." Okay, and it's my favorite Carlos Cavazo solo. I think it's one of the best solos he ever played. But they played that song live. It was really cool listening to that. And the crowd's response to them was interesting. At first, it was kind of a little bit lukewarm through the first song, but it was all positive. It was very positive. There was no negativity in the crowd at all. But by the second song, the crowd was responsive, and they were positive, and they were jamming to it.
Mm-hmm. What time did they come on? Was it noon when they came on?
It was something
just
like
about there,
right around there.
And they're basically local boys too, so that helps.
Absolutely, and
which is a smart move. You know, like that's what
their set came off, and Kevin. He was classic Kevin. You know, you can watch this. The beauty of this is it was absolutely not only televised, but
pro shot.
There is so much footage of this event, both backstage and of the stage and of the crowd. So it's extra special in that aspect. They pulled off their show, I would say, flawlessly. I didn't get to really see too much of it, although they did have a big screen up above the stage, and I could make out a couple of things from time to time when I'd throw my head up, but I was working. So I wasn't really there to watch a show anyway. But they played really, really well. And I've always been a Carlos fan. I wasn't the biggest Kevin Dubrow fan. I had some interaction with him from time to time.
You and I have talked about Kevin off air, Charles, and I'll leave it at that.
He rubbed me the wrong way, but we got along, and he was always respectful of me. I will say that. He never disrespected me. I never disrespected him. And I got to watch him create his band and literally scoop guys from other bands. I got to watch it in real time. And it all culminated at the US Festival. That's what was crazy. It was like I got to watch it, you know. That was really cool.
That is
I have a question for you, Charles. Having been there, were you was there like cameras like say backstage as well shooting?
There was media to some degree.
Has there ever been a documentary like a Woodstock type movie? Because I'm thinking that was Steve's idea was I'm going to film the hell out of this and I can make another.
There's got to be.
There is a couple of them out there.
Yeah.
Plus.
Yeah, well, I'm just going to say, even though I don't like the guy as a director, I'm going to say it, but maybe a fella could grab all those tapes and give them to Peter Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying. Wouldn't that make a nice 4 to 5-parter? Well, actually, do an 8-parter because you'd want to do a 2-parter on each day, or at least a 1 per day.
There is documentaries out there.
Yeah. Like, you know, an official of some kind of, you know, especially these days, you know, like someone has to be able to do one. A retrospective, and I'm just thinking, no wonder the turnout. Because Sandra's saying, "Hey, this day, this was the lineup." Hey, and I was looking at the country lineup because I was wondering if there was a country day, and I was like, "Holy crap on a cracker!" Like you got a few Hall of Famers there, and a few people I'm not aware of, and I'm not saying that takes away from them, but I'm like, I think I saw 4 Hall of Famers on that bill.
Oh,
so
yeah,
you know,
sure.
when you got Waylon and Willie and Emmy Lou and Hank Jr. That's an event. That's a good event. That's a real good event.
That's a great event right there. I'd love to go see Willie. I'd go see Dolly. I'd go see Dolly in a heartbeat. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yep. She is the nicest person in the world and pro. As you know, I can't remember, have I read her book or not, but I know I've watched a couple documentaries on and hearing stories like because she kind of started out doing duets with Porter Wagner on his show. You know, and Porter Wagner was a big. Sorry to go on a tangent here, folks, but Porter Wagner was a big flipping deal. You know,
Edwin,
his
good to
TV
see
show,
you, dude.
and she would come on and sing duets. And then eventually she said, I'm tired of doing that. I want to go out and do my own thing. And he's like, really? You really, you know? And it was back in the day too, and you know, you just didn't do that. And she says, I'm going to do that. And then she's been Dolly ever since. And
well, you know, she turned down
and
that trivia question last week. One of the answers would have been Dolly Parton for induction into the Hall of Fame. And hey, shout out Holly! I had so much fun playing trivia with you last week. You absolutely rock, girl.
Yeah, she's only one of what, 3 artists that turned it down.
Yeah.
And I get it. She said the same thing I've been saying for years. Just call it the Music Hall of Fame, and I'll be happy to be a part of it. And I get that, but it was like, it was odd. It was like her, Ozzy, and somebody else that I can't think of. It's interesting. Like,
I like to know that. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know who
I
they
can't
would
remember
be.
who the other person was.
But hey, after Quiet Riot left the stage, and the crowd really loved them. They received them big time.
I was a huge fan of them.
Well,
83. Ooh,
Motley Crue hits the stage, right? And there's drama between the shows. It was taking them anywhere from, and if my memory's a little off, I'm within about 10 minutes, anywhere from 25 to 30 minutes to get 40 minutes even to get the bands switched off. Even though they had the system and everything, it took them that long to get them set up.
When really all they have to do is swap out a Marshall head for the guitar player. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
The rest of the slaves could all be there.
The staging was massive. It was massive.
Of course, you're playing the Yachts Festival. Hey, Charles, what are you bringing? I'm bringing all my amps. I don't care if they're on or off. I'm bringing them all.
The stage is this wide where the band plays, but then it's massive on both sides, and it went back like a city, and it was just
have to.
So much gear.
The logistics of the
I rode
festival
through
are
there just a
insane.
couple of times on a golf cart. I didn't spend any time backstage at that event. A couple of times, more on day one than day two, ironically. But Motley Crue comes out. They've got a new look. They're sporting a new look.
Now, I was going to say, they were still rocking the first album at that point?
They were rocking the first album, and they played songs from Shout at the Devil, their second album.
That's why I was wondering.
Yeah, and it was really cool. Now, I'd heard some of those songs. I'd heard all of them, in fact.
Right, and they had brought out basically the Shout at the Devil look at that point too, right?
They were talking about the upcoming album on stage too.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, they had fully adopted the Road Warrior type outfits that Bill D. Snyder said, "Hold my beer." I'm using all the feathers and all the padding and all the hair.
Yeah.
To date, I was nervous for them. I was very nervous for them.
I bet.
I didn't see them any at that time. I didn't see them that day. I ran into them about a week later after the gig. That's when when I saw them after that. And that show for Motley Crue was absolutely, and I'll say this, that was the turning point in their career. Not for them to be popular, but that's when Ozzy invited them to come on his world tour.
Right.
And so that was the changing moment for Motley Crue because they went on tour with Ozzy.
Which, God love Ozzy Osbourne. Like, how many bands, if it was, like, got their break touring with, because Ozzy always toured, right? Because, let's be honest, an idle Ozzy is that's not good. He had to be on the road, because the road kept him alive as much like Lemmy in many ways. And thank you, Ozzy. I'm thinking so many bands biographies I've read or watching documentaries, and they're all like, that Ozzy tour, or because that got them out of playing those clubs of 800,000 seat, theaters even. To all of a sudden, boom, arenas and possibly stadiums, depending on weather.
Yeah, well, they absolutely kicked ass. They just kicked ass. It's funny because every band that came up, nobody blew it. There's no band hit that stage that day and blew it or had any real major issue. The expectation the crowd had was never diminished. It just kept getting better and better. And the crowd kept getting more alive.
Hmm.
They were getting a little more wasted. People were partying. It's interesting when you're around that many people and they all
Festival.
begin to have a positive vibe as opposed to a negative vibe. And you could almost feel it. You could almost feel it. You could
Well-
feel it for that matter.
Well, I would think everyone's partying because they're like, hell, I'm not leaving for several hours still, so I've got plenty of time to throw.
Well, it was so brutal on them. People got there.
It was tough though, but what he's saying, you can every set of every artist is on YouTube. If you watch any one of them, they're constantly pulling people out. There's 5 or 6 that you see in every.
Yeah, and the funny part about that is you're so used to seeing that because of mosh pits, in festivals and stuff.
No,
it's so complicated. Like for us, in 2022, you see that and it's just you don't think of it, but no, that shit didn't exist back in the day.
This made a mosh pit look like a walk in the park.
Yeah,
literally, we're talking about the force of thousands and thousands of people.
Yep.
I'd never seen anything like it. I've been to the Coliseum in Los Angeles, Coliseum and Jack Murphy Stadium with 100,000 people, 110,000, 120,000 people. The Stones, the Who, big events. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people.
It is.
That's not even one smidgen of what was there. It's incredible. It's mind-boggling to look at that many people. And so
Keith Campbell, yes.
One
of the outliers of the late 70s. The Texas Jam was a big ass festival every flipping year. Texas Jam.
Tesla kicked the shit out of the Tesla Jam at the Texas Jam. That's where they made their big break. I remember listening to it. They simulcasted it on KMET. I forget the year now. God, that's a good trivia question. We ought to think about that. I remember listening to it. That was so cool. But anyway, guys, Ozzy gets ready to hit the stage. He comes out dressed in this, look kind of like a voodoo, kind of a
I showed
Indian
the
slash.
shortly ago.
I don't know what you'd call it. He had this mask. It was kind of a red mask, and I didn't see it close up. I saw it on the big overhead. I said, "Gee, who's that and what's that?" I didn't know it was Ozzy. I didn't know. I knew Ozzy was coming on, but I didn't know it was Ozzy. But he ripped it off, and it was kind of weird. The crowd was kind of half interested in it, and the other half couldn't see him. They didn't realize because they were so far away. It was interesting. But then they started playing.
I thought it was a good idea at the time.
They started playing, and he came out there. He brought Jakey Lee with him, and Jakey Lee just I knew Jakey. I knew him from before. I saw him on the Strip. I saw him interact with Robin a little bit in Ratt.
But also too, it's important. He was still coming. He had the guys in his old. He still had Aldridge on drums and Geezer played the US Festival.
It was.
I was where I'm like, if
when
Rudy
he played Mr.
with
Crowley,
Quiet Riot, who played with Ozzy?
Yeah.
Nowadays, Rudy would just do double duty.
When he played Mr. Crowley, I stopped and shined my job on and literally was focused on the big screen overhead, and just was watching, and I was listening, and I was like, holy crap, he made a great decision going to Ozzy. I mean, that's what I was saying through my head, because I didn't know what was going to happen to Jake. I had no idea.
It was a great fit.
Well, no, they were playing, and here's the thing. They not only played, they played from the first and second album, Ozzy, and they played like 5 Sabbath tunes. They played freaking Suicide Solution and I'm sorry. Not only did they play Paranoid, but they played Children of the Grave.
Right.
They went back. They played Fairies Wear Boots. I mean, I couldn't believe it. They played Fairies Wear Boots. It was spectacular. And Ozzy, it's interesting. Every time you see Ozzy, it was like an event. It was always an event. And if you're a huge Ozzy fan, getting
You're
to
anywhere
see
near
Ozzy.
Ozzy in the 80s,
You
it
don't-
was an event,
You
no matter where it was.
well, it's different because a lot of people didn't know. They know of Ozzy from being with Sabbath, but they
Right.
didn't see him with Sabbath. They just
Right.
heard about his legend because all through the 80s, there were a bunch of other singers who.
Brad Gillis
You know.
had recently just left.
Yeah,
Right.
yes, and he was filling those.
Yeah,
seats.
it's crazy that, well, because being such a big event, right? You have certain things that come out, like, you know, certain performances, like Motley Crue was going to debut a lot of new stuff because that makes sense. They're about to do a new album. It's a huge opportunity, huge, you know, event. You know,
Shout
Quiet
at the Devil
Riot
was
knew
huge.
they had to nail it because they were right, you know, ascending at 1,000,000 miles an hour. And we'll get to the other bands later, you know, on stuff. But looking back, though, it's amazing. Yeah, look, like Jake's first show. It just happens Ozzy would happen to have a new guitar player. And like, what? They talk about a first show pressure, right? Like, who we play in front of it? Everybody.
That's
Really?
a big
Yep.
show. Yeah, that is.
You know, because
And
televised.
everybody in LA was there. I've heard musicians say they were there. Steven Adler always said he was there on that day.
Although is that our generation's, like, everyone was at Woodstock?
Yeah, I think
You know what I mean?
is. I think it is.
It is, you know, in a sense, like, there's a lot of people at Woodstock that weren't at Woodstock. But I'm not saying like Steven Adler wasn't for us, but I'm wondering how many people over the, oh yeah, I was at the Yes Fest. Were you though? Were you? You know, didn't you have a gig at the Rainbow that night? Oh yeah. You know, I was quick. You know, I was in and out. No, you weren't.
Well, so they played everything. Mr. Crowley over the mountain. God, it was really cool. But Mr. Crowley, that solo on Mr. Crowley, I fell in love with Jakey Lee at that moment. That was the moment where I was like, wow, I couldn't believe it. I don't want to say he won up. I wouldn't say that. I would never say he won up Randy or he won up this, but his version of Mr. Crowley at the 83 US Festival,
sure,
epic. It's epic, right? So Ozzy gets off the stage. The crowd at this time surges up again. And between Ozzy and Priest, it got crazy. It got really nasty, to be honest, because now people were getting drunk and they were getting pissed off because they didn't have any food and people were running out of money. There was a kind of a negative vibe.
It's interesting how early on the bill Ozzy's on the bill too. Really, like, you think, no, it could be retrospective, but yeah, like, you figure he did have a couple albums out at that point and a couple tours under his belt. Like, you would think, but then again, Judas Priest was well established by that point. You know,
by this time, and it's time for trivia, isn't it, you guys? Yes, it is. Ooh. Yes, it is. Do you want to do trivia before we go on, or?
You could. Let me know because I got to leave.
I'm just a guest. I don't run things on this channel. I'll be running things tomorrow night when all these crazy cats come and join me on my channel. We're going to continue the party because, you know, it's a long weekend and
why not?
And so yeah, we're doing a dual invasion thing because let's cross promote. I think that's the marketing term. I'm looking over at an empty room for a comment. And
it's a crossover show.
Yeah, it's like in the comics. It's a crossover.
Yeah, man. Yep.
All right. So.
And do we have somebody from the chat that's going to take on this trivia, or am I forced to have to?
Let's fetch us a contestant now. If you play, and we'd love if you would, we're going to put a link. In the chat, we are.
Oh, see, you mentioned trivia, and there's Soa in the chat. Just bam! I'm just saying.
Yeah.
He's already coming backstage. He's
so, first of all, what we're playing for is if now somebody is going to be playing tonight against that guy.
I know that guy.
You're playing against
Brendan.
Brendan.
Hey there,
So,
Butt cheeks
and
and
if you are successful, if you beat him, I'm going to send you a Jason Becker guitar pick.
Nice.
And let me show you the back of it.
So
It's a
really,
dog
you
taking a
just
poop.
need to get 2 questions right, because I know Brendan's good for 1. I'm giving him 1.
I'll get one.
You know, okay, which is 1 more than he figured he was going to get. So
I'll get
So-
-3.
get 2.
Now, and also the winner or the player is going to be joining us tonight backstage after the show.
Yeah.
We're going to let the heels down a little.
Yeah, I'm going to let my hair down.
And
Right.
I'm in danger.
Yeah.
Yep.
our winners
Yeah.
our winners from May are going to be quite safe, but our winners from May are going to be joining us, and that includes Christopher Live Sawa, won May 7th, and then May 14th was Holly Lewis, and then last week was Keith Campbell. So they'll be
Yeah,
joining
man.
us, and let's figure out how
Yeah,
we're
let's
going
do
to
it
fetch
before my
us up.
internet gets wonky again.
All right, so if you want to play,
Dave Z said he wanted to play.
so who wants to play? So
Should I leave then?
if today is your birthday, say
Nope.
it's my birthday.
Sure.
The
Even
first
if it's
one to
not,
say
just
my
say it's your
birthday in the chat is the winner,
Dude's
and I don't
birthday.
care if you lie.
Mine was at the beginning of the week.
Dude's
Come on.
birthday.
Come on, let's play.
Dude's birthday.
Dude's birthday.
Does that
Oh
say
my
dude?
God. Who the hell cares?
All right, I'm gonna
Okay,
put.
these are entirely too tasty. I'm just saying.
All right,
It's Chris Hunter's birthday.
This will really help with the trivia.
Come on, guys.
I'll hear them for like the 3rd time, and
Chris
I'll
Hunter.
be like,
Chris Hunter.
Chris
All
Hunter.
right.
Chris's birthday.
There we go.
all right,
right.
you get to
All right,
play.
Dave. This was first.
All right.
All right,
One
Just
second. Like a
text me
second.
T. I'm out.
hang on. Let me put the
My
link
cheeks
in
out,
the chat.
literally.
All right, Chris.
I'm in danger.
The
See, I
link.
can't do it that high. I can't go that high.
All right, let's. How can we?
Yes.
Let's do it like that. Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
All right. We're cubicles now.
Do it.
All right. So we're about to have Chris Hunter play trivia
Against
on May 28, 2022.
Heard noise.
If he's going to grab that link, yeah. You want to play?
Right
The link is in the chat. Grab the
Some
link.
random person in the inner Google. Click on the link. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Hopefully you are into music.
I know who Chris
You're
is.
doing great.
I know who Chris is.
I know of Chris. I read them all the time. I get to meet Chris. This is cool.
All right. Well, here he comes. All right. Ladies and gentlemen,
Texting me now.
let's see. Chris Hunter. There he is.
Yes. Nice to meet you, bro.
I already lost. I already lost. Look at the hair. I already lost.
He's got tone hair. He has the tone hair.
I'm done for.
I don't know what I'm doing, dude.
Chris, welcome,
And he's
dude.
English.
Yeah,
Oh,
welcome,
I'm now
bro.
totally screwed. All right, I'm
I'm
going.
sitting here working on guitars.
But right now, you're going to be
Love it.
answering 10 trivia questions.
All right. Bye. See, Tony, text me.
All
All right.
bro.
So
We'll see you in a minute, Brendan.
Brendan
I will
is
not
gonna
be texting Brendan the answers throughout
No,
this.
you shouldn't be.
Brendan is gonna leave, and I'm gonna bring up the timer here. Hang on.
Oh, there it is. Look at that.
Let me
Rewind
rewind it. Hey. All right. So, yeah, I'm going to be the scorekeeper and the official judge of the game tonight. Chris, nice to see you. Welcome.
I'm in, dude. This is awesome.
Excellent. Nice to meet you, Chris.
So,
I love
Great
you,
to meet you,
Joe.
man.
Sandra, take it away.
All right, Chris, you are going to have 1 minute and 1 minute only to answer 10 general knowledge rock and roll trivia questions. Time begins after I ask the first question. You can skip a question if you're not sure of the answer, and if there's time at the end, we'll go back to it. Keep in mind, you only have about 2 to 3 seconds per each question. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Question number 1. The original singer for AC/DC.
Why am I going Bon Scott? Woo.
Yes. Number 2. Tracy Guns was the original guitarist for this most dangerous band.
Guns N' Roses.
Yes. 3. What is Bonzo's birth name?
Oh, say that again. What?
What is Bonzo's birth name?
John Bonham.
Yes. 4. Rick Nielsen is from what band?
Cheap Trick.
Yes. 5. Harry Cody played guitar for this band.
Shotgun Messiah.
Yes. 6. Who replaced Ozzy in Black Sabbath in 1979?
Yo.
Yes. 7. Who was the original lead guitarist for Bon Jovi?
Was that Dave? Snake Sabo?
No. Number 8. 1976 hit More Than a Feeling is by what band?
Boston.
Yes. Number 9. Spoof music movie, a British band that turned it up to 11.
Spinal Tap.
Yes. 10. Former number of the Runaways who had a hit in 82 with I Love Rock and Roll. Yes.
Joan Jett. And is the other one supposed to be Richie Sambora?
Yes. But
I do need to put out a point of protest. Bon Scott is not the original singer for AC/DC.
So as
sorry, guys.
As the official judge, he got 9 out of 10. He missed the one.
What did I miss?
You missed the one originally, number 8, I guess it was.
What's one?
Yeah.
Number 8. The 1976 hit More Than a Feeling is by what band?
Boston.
No,
I said Boston.
The Bon Jovi one.
Yeah.
But I don't do it. I don't care if I lose. I don't care if I lose. But Dave Snake Sabo did play with them before they got in. He did play with them before.
He did. But so all right. So
dude, you killed it, bro.
You killed it, dude. You got 9 out of 10. Right.
So are we only counting bands once they release material nationally? Is that how it goes?
Okay.
I'm still putting in a protest on that first question, Tony.
What is the first question again?
The first singer for AC/DC.
Yeah, number 1 was the original singer for AC/DC. He got that right.
Not Bon Scott, though.
Well, that's who we were.
Mark
That's
Evans.
what I have. I'm going with the answer that we wanted. Bon Scott.
So Bon Scott. So who is he, Ben?
Mark Evans.
Yeah. No. Is it?
Yeah, Mark Evans.
Did he
Bon
make
Scott
any albums
was still
with him?
in fraternity. He left fraternity to join AC/DC. They're still both club, but there's TV appearances with Mark Evans as singer. I don't know if they actually recorded anything.
I did not know
that.
that.
That was the answer that we wanted. So.
All right. So he's got his text message to come back.
Okay.
Hey, wait, you totally kicked ass, Chris. Holy crap.
Dude, man, that is absolutely killer.
All right.
That was fun as. I was thinking, okay, here's a question. And I'm going, I'm going to freeze.
You did really, really good.
That's crazy, man.
Well, in case you guys don't know, I'm in New Zealand, and it is approximately 2:20.
Wow.
Whoa.
Holy crap.
Thanks for being here, man. We really
no kidding.
Yeah, dude. Thanks.
Super cool.
So So,
right.
dude,
Yeah.
brother,
Yeah.
the number to beat tonight is 9.
Oh shit.
9.
You got this, bro.
I'm just gonna leave now then.
No, you got
Yeah,
this.
you got this, dude.
All right,
Sir,
buddy.
are you ready?
I'm ready.
You know the drill. Time starts at the end of the first question. Here we go. Question number 1. Original singer for AC/DC.
Bon Scott.
Yes. 2. Tracy Guns was the original guitarist for This Most Dangerous Band.
L.A. Guns.
No.
Oh,
3. What is Bonzo's birth name?
John.
Okay. 4. Rick Nielsen is from what band?
Cheap Trick.
Yes. 5. Harry Cody played guitar for this band.
Pass.
6. Who replaced Ozzy in Black Sabbath in 1979?
Dio.
Yes. 7. Who is the original lead guitarist for Bon Jovi?
Richie Sambora.
Yes. Number 8. 1976 hit More Than a Feeling is by this band.
Boston.
Yes. Number 9. Spoof music movie, a British band that turned it up to 11.
Spinal Tap.
Yes. 10. Former member of the Runaways who had a hit in 82 with I Love Rock and Roll.
Joan Jett.
Yes.
So we'll go back to the one I missed.
Number 5 is the one you passed. Harry Cody played guitar
9
for this.
seconds.
Harry Cody. Jesus Christ.
5 seconds.
I got no idea.
2 seconds.
Ratt. I don't know.
No.
I know.
Okay.
I don't know. God
All
damn
right.
it. I only got 8.
Good try, Brendan.
I only got 8 then, right?
You did pretty good,
All
bro.
right. So let me count them up. So
Yes,
you got
very good.
number 1 right,
Yes.
and number 2 and 3 wrong. Number 4 right. You passed on number 5 and came back to
Oh,
it
so
and
I
got
got
it
7.
wrong.
All right.
And then you got all the rest right. So you got 7.
I got 7. All right.
So Chris is
All right,
the
Chris.
winner.
Nice
Right
job.
on, dude.
Okay, very, very quickly. Original singer for AC/DC, we were looking for Bon Scott. Tracy Guns was the original guitarist for This Most Dangerous Band was Guns N' Roses. Bonzo's birth name is John Bonham. Rick Nielsen.
Oh, okay. I thought you just wanted the first name. I'm sorry.
Harry Cody played guitar for Shotgun Messiah.
I never would have known it.
Ronnie James replaced Ozzy in 1979. Richie Sambora was the original guitarist for Bon Jovi. More Than a Feeling is the 1976 hit by Boston. This is Spinal Tap was the spoof movie we were looking for. And Joan Jett was the correct answer for number 10, the former member of the Runaways who had a hit in 1982.
What was number 2 again?
So great job all around, guys.
Thanks. What was number 2? What was the second question again?
Number 2 was Tracy Guns was the original guitarist for This Most Dangerous Band.
That's where they came. That's where they got Guns N' Roses from, right? So that's all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fun
I don't know
fact,
why I thought
yeah.
LA. I don't know why I thought
Yeah.
LA Guns. See, I froze up on that one. I don't know. Oh well.
You did good, Brendan. You still
It's
did
all
good.
right. It's all right.
Very
Chris
cool,
kicked
very
my
cool.
ass. Nice job, Chris.
Chris knocks it out of the park, bro.
Thank you.
Yeah, he's got a cool one.
Nice.
Yeah,
check that.
Jason Becker.
Nice.
Jason Becker pick.
Yeah.
You owe me a Jason Becker pick, Brendan.
Okay.
Thank
How
you.
about a Ace Frehley pick? Will that work?
I'm kidding.
We'll take an ace pick.
Congratulations, dude.
Yeah, bro.
This is
Very
fun,
good.
Yeah,
man. Thanks
congratulations.
for watching.
Dude,
Yeah.
I can't believe this happened on my birthday.
Oh, happy
This is
birthday.
your birthday. This is your birthday. Oh,
Very happy birthday.
Dude's birthday.
Oh, yeah.
dude.
Dude's birthday.
Right on.
Always. Always.
Now you get back to that
Whatever
festival.
gets you there, man. Whatever gets you there, man.
Nice.
Very cool, man.
I never would have gotten Shotgun Messiah if you had a gun to my head. So
Oh,
I didn't have Shotgun Messiah either until he said it, and I went, "Oh yeah."
I did a video
Oh,
on here,
yes.
Cody, so if you
Nice.
follow the channel, you probably should have known that one.
well, I do follow your channel.
I'm a guitar dude. I'm a guitar dude, and Harry Cody's a cool guitar player.
Yes, he is. He's a beast.
Very nice, guys.
All right. I'm going to
Very
pop back
nice.
over to the chat.
Take care, sweetheart. Very
See
cool.
everybody in a bit.
All right. Sam.
Alrighty then.
Thanks, Chris. That was a lot of fun. Brendan?
That was fun. That was awesome.
Are we singing happy birthday?
No, because it's not really his birthday.
It's not his birthday. All right.
Nice job.
Yeah, dude. So I'm going to send you a pass for tonight. You get to hang out at the party for playing Keith Campbell, Holly Lewis, Christopher Live Sour, Chris Hunter. Yeah.
So I have a question for you, Charles. Are you aware of, in the LA area, Bancroft Junior High?
It sounds familiar.
Well, my cousin went there along with Tracy Guns and Slash.
Oh.
They all went to junior high together. I was like, that sounds familiar. Tracy Guns. I'm like, where? And it was my cousin posted a thing about Tracy Guns in my Facebook group. And I was like, oh, that's cool. He goes, yeah, I went to junior high with him. I'm like, oh, yeah, I forget you grew up out there for part of your childhood. Dang. It's like, right.
My favorite LA Guns video is it's actually got Lori Tucker, you know, friend of the show, supermodel. It's one of her very best rock videos. I mean, we all know her for Hot for Teacher, but she did several videos, and I think the name of the video is called Sex Action, but they shoot it in downtown LA. And I mean, they get into some alleyways, and the whole vibe of the video is straight up Los Angeles, Hollywood. It really captures it. It's a killer video, killer song.
Nice.
Yeah, man. Love it. Absolutely love it.
Cool.
Very cool. Very cool.
Very cool indeed.
You know, so Judas, you want to get back onto the? Can we get back onto the S?
I was just thinking, who is up next?
Judas Priest.
Judas Priest. Which, like, they were, let's see, 82. Like, they were right in that arc, right?
A couple of months before that, they were already coming. They had already been on the Electric Eye tour, the Halen Electric Eye tour. So I actually saw that tour. Worked one show with West, another show of the same tour. I attended the show with friends. So when the US Festival hit, I had seen 1, 2, 3. I had seen that would be the third.
That is actually, Tony is holding up all the picks that were picked up on the stage at the end of the US Festival. Fun fact. It cost him $1 million. And
there was no way
Charles, ironically, was the guy that picked them all up after the show and sold them to Tony for $1 million.
It was a long way to the people from where the musicians were actually standing, and so it would just to barely get it to him would have been you'd have to chuck that sucker.
He just covered himself in honey and rolled around on the stage and picked them up.
Yeah. You know, Judas Priest comes out and Halen Electric Eye. They open the show. So, and the set list that they played was very similar to the couple of shows that I'd seen.
Yeah, I'm gonna think was that the Screaming for Vengeance tour?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm saying. That and like Turbo, that's
the opening
that
song.
Was their like that's the Priest, like best of the best. Like,
well, they're as extreme denim and leather as it gets, and they brought it. Whips, chains, Harley, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
Flawless show. Ian Hill, one of my favorite bass players of all time. His bass tone, ironically, of all the bass players that day, Rudy Sarzo's bass tone, in my opinion, really wasn't that great, even though he's an awesome bass player. His tone wasn't that great. But Ian Hill, and when Judas Priest at that stage, that bass tone, it rocked your chest like it was like.
Well, because he doesn't have to support spectrum-wise. They're one of the few bands that have 2 guitar players, so I noticed the sound. You don't need to put up all the highs on your bass, so when Carlos takes a lead break, then it's just Rudy and the drums, right?
One of the best bass tones I heard all day. It was thumping.
No doubt.
They played a
Herman 45 has seen every concert too.
Absolutely killer set. Killer set. It was another flawless show. And so we had been through Quiet Riot, Motley Crue, Ozzy, and Judas Priest.
Like now, already a wicked show.
We've been leather and metalled out to the max at that point. The crowd was interesting enough. When Judas Priest left the stage, it was getting probably, I would say, okay, Triumph hit the stage right about 6 o'clock. Right. And there was probably 25 to 40 minutes.
Now, is that the hockey jersey portion of the festival or the kimono portion?
The sun in Glen Helen Regional Park, it was literally in the morning, it was coming like this across the stage and casting a shadow. And so people who were in the shadow were getting relief. Well, the shadow was growing and growing. And by the time Triumph hit the stage, the sun was just like it was starting to go down. That beautiful California, as good as it gets in California ambiance, was pinging, man. It was beautiful. Nice. And here comes Triumph.
Now, how were they dressed?
Nobody had seen Triumph. We had heard their songs on the radio. Never Surrender was out. So people were hearing Never Surrender. And they were playing old stuff, and they were playing songs from their new album, which had just, I believe it had just been released. Yeah, it would have had to have been just released because I was listening to it.
Oh, they were releasing like an album a year.
So I had it. Yeah. But nobody, see, it was the first time that day that most of the people in the crowd weren't really familiar with Triumph. They just weren't. There was a lot. They were a huge band. I don't mean to say like nobody knew them, but as far as seeing them live, no one had seen them live. The majority of the crowd had not. They opened with Allied Forces, and I shit you not, everyone, the entire place was like, whoa. They played all of their hits they had at the time. And when they played, what was that song? Not Magic Power, not Never Surrender.
Lay It on the Line.
That's it. Not fight. I was going to say not fight the good fight, but lay it on the line. You know,
which is not ripping off Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo in any way, shape, or form.
Rock and roll.
It was not written after Triumph toured opening for Rick Derringer.
The vibe in that place was magical, and he opens it up and he's playing it. It's real sweet, and he hits that open A chord, and it rang through the whole freaking valley.
But how were they dressed, Charles? How were they dressed? Because they were never dressed well.
They were the extreme opposite of every band.
Was it kimonos or hockey jerseys? Because they were known for wearing both.
They were colorful. Their vibe was nothing like the previous
Rick wearing
band.
A unitard?
Their music was just as badass.
Rick Emmett, Tim Mitchell, and Freddie Mercury all rocked the unitards. And I just went, oh, wait a minute. Rick did wear his unitards for a while.
So Kevin Cronin did too.
To be honest, people who were at that show, unless you were within the first quarter,
you can't see anybody.
Quarter mile.
You're not
at a quarter mile. You really didn't see much. You can tell what you could see the color. You could see who was there. You kind of see the band. But to be honest, the US Festival was more of a listening event for most people. It just was because you're so far away. I mean, that's what you were doing. You were listening to awesome music. And the fact that they projected it that far with such quality was amazing. It was amazing. But Triumph killed. They just absolutely killed. And then they set the stage because then the sun was down. Another changeover came up, and here come the Scorpions. Now, the Scorpions had just released Blackout. It was huge.
I'll be right back.
It was absolutely huge. And the thing about the Scorpions is this. They reproduce their record sound, the sound that you, when you listen to a cassette or whatever, and you listen to them and you hear that, they reproduce it perfectly live. Perfectly. And I was blown away by the Scorpions. They got the first light show of the night too.
Right.
They got the lights. They It's interesting because there was quite a period of time that went on between all the changeovers took almost the same amount of time until after the Scorpions.
Well, then there's infrastructure.
Well, Van Halen didn't hit the stage. I don't know how long it was. It was at least an hour, maybe an hour and a half. It was beyond fashionably late, definitely. And people after the show, especially a couple of days later, I heard, people saying things like, "Hey, Scorpions stole the show. Scorpions stole the show." No, they did not. No, they didn't. They played a stellar show. It was as good as everyone else, but it was no better than Triumph. It was no better than Judas Priest. It just simply wasn't. Right. Everyone who played that day, their expectation.
Yeah, everyone did their best.
Was fantastic. Yeah. It was really kind of a miracle day. Yeah. Because all the bedlam and all the garbage that people were having to deal with. I mean, these people were beat down by Mother Nature and the elements, and they did. A lot of people didn't have any money. They had to throw their food away before they came in. It was amazing. It was amazing. The whole thing.
I can give you an update from Charlotte Motor Speedway. The opposite happened for Steve Miller because it was recorded. Doug timed it. Within 4 minutes of playing the last note, Steve Miller was in his bus and leaving the facility.
Wow.
4 minutes. I'm like, wow, that's impressive.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, you're not doing a meet and greet. You can't. You cannot do a meet and greet outside Charlotte Motor Speedway on Coke 600. That's a lot of drunken rednecks of various nationalities.
Wow.
They've been, again, Charles, they've been in the sun all day. And they've been drinking all day. And they don't have to pay outside prices because it's bring your own. So,
yeah, it's a party.
Yeah, 4 minutes. That's impressive. 4 minutes. Wow,
that's pretty good.
Crazy, dude. Well, anyway, Van Halen finally hits that stage, and
right.
I've said it before. One of the best shows I ever saw Eddie Van Halen play. Period. He was spot on, flawless.
With
In
the
fact, the band was Carrie and Dave. The whole band was Carrie and Dave. It was one of the best shows I'd ever seen Van Halen play, ever heard them play live. It was fantastic. Dave's Annex. If you're a true Van Halen fan, you loved it. You might have had something to say about this or that, or maybe Dave shouldn't have done this or whatever, but Van Halen was a party band. They've always been a party band. And they lived up.
Oh, yeah. Dave's going to be full Dave. Like capital D, capital A.
It was rough. It was rough. But the band was on point. And
still here, guys.
He was leaving out entire phrases of songs. I'm just leaving them out. Yeah. But it was okay. It was totally okay. And they dotted the I and crossed the T on that show, on that day. And it like I say, it was one of the best Van Halen performances I'd ever seen.
Well, I think with that paycheck too, they're like, we have to go and hit.
I gotta say this. I heard all the talk about the money and this and that, and it was the media was just Van Halen's getting $1.5 million. It was,
David Bowie made 1.5 also.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yes.
It was just about the music and the event.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking, if anything, that just made them want to give that much better of a show. Like, otherwise you get that, really? They got paid that much and you only did that for a show? Like, they're like, screw you. We're going to show that we got underpaid for our performance.
After the event, Dave bailed. He got the hell out of there.
So let me show this Van Halen pick. This 84 pick, this was the first time that he used this was at the US Festival. And then he used it in early 1983 in South America and in 84 on the 84 tour.
And then he sent it to Tony.
But
Is it
these are known as the 1984.
Nice.
But they debuted at the US Festival. Yeah, they did. And there's
cool. Leo has
one from the time period with Mikey.
Nice.
Yeah, that is badass. That
Rick is such a nice guy, Guitar Man 45. I'm sure you had nothing but good time with him.
There's one band that I wish had been at that festival on that day. Just one. Def Leppard.
Right.
Def Leppard. They would have just.
I was like, did they? Yeah, well, they had Ozzy as the British, I guess.
Yeah.
But even really, like, I don't know. I always thought of, like, sure, Ozzy's British, obviously, but hasn't he always had basically an American band backing him since he's been solo?
When he left Black Sabbath, everything changed, and I thought of him as an American rock star all through the 80s. I really did. And it was interesting because, he's not, but I thought of it. He moved to California. He was living in LA. He was with Sharon.
Sharon.
They're very English, but, during the 80s, they were a California thing.
Yeah.
They really were. After that show, I was so worn out. And the thought of, now they took good care of us. They did. They fed us. I lived on hot dogs. Everybody there lived on hot dogs. That's what they were selling.
No doubt.
And,
hey, I know that. That's Rammstein pick.
Rammstein.
That's cool.
Tony's new favorite band.
Oh no! I knew you were going to go there.
It's your fault.
But I was worn out, man. And I wanted to go home.
No doubt. You said you worked 2 of the days, Charles?
2 of the days, and I got
there.
What
was the other day that you worked?
The morning before. So I left. I had been up and had maybe 5 hours of sleep in 2.5 days, essentially, is how it went, because I was sleeping in my car. See, a lot of the guys who worked that event lived within, 45 minutes to an hour. They were locals, but they were outsourced. And so I literally drove. At that time, it was about 2 hours and maybe 45, 50 minutes, if I recall correctly, to get from where I lived in Manhattan Beach to it's Devore, California, San Bernardino.
So you can't get there from here without going through.
But I got early in the morning. I got there real early in the morning.
That looks familiar.
Oh, yeah. That's so cool. That's a Tortex.
Guy from Green Day.
Ah, Billy Joe.
Mike Dirnt.
Or Mike Dirnt.
Mike Dirnt, yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
So I got out of there. I left. I was driving home.
Did you sleep for 2 days?
Dude, I crashed hard. I crashed hard. But I had at that time, I was working security there for West, but that was really moonlighting because I was in fire school at that time. And I've been hired by the city of El Segundo.
Sure.
So I was recruited, and that's when I was changing my whole entire direction.
It still doesn't beat that other story when you were an undercover cop. That's the best story ever, Charles.
Dude.
Oh my God, that was so funny.
Those guys are crazy. You realize that. They were on another level. They had no fear. They were just.
But that's the way it should be, man.
Who does that? Who does that?
That's great, though. Yeah, man. But you got to see that live. That not a lot of people. I'm not going to say not a lot of people got to see that, but about 600,000 of them did. But,
I didn't realize how epic it was at the time until years had gone by, about a decade or so went by, and I realized that music changed, and then freaking grunge happened, and I started reflecting back, and I was like, wow. Yeah.
See, the difference is to the attendees there, Brendan, is Charles got paid to experience it as opposed to other people paid to experience it. True. And they basically had the same experience. They lived off hot dogs, got a wicked sunburn, I'm sure, and slept for a day and a half afterwards.
They gave us all the water. I was drinking Gatorade, ice cold Gatorade, while people were just it was horrible to watch.
Oh, I'm sure, man.
And at the same time, it was a learning lesson for me. And it was one of the absolute best rock venue things I'd ever been involved in. Nice. As painful as it was painful. But
yeah, but you suffer through that stuff.
Well, it was nice seeing Carlos with Quiet Riot. I got to see him when he was, for a couple of years. I watched him play with Snow.
Right.
And that's what he wanted, getting to knowing where he had come from and seeing him on that stage playing. And Frankie, I love Frankie Benelli. Rest in peace, Frankie. I didn't get along too much with, I didn't know Rudy at all, but I didn't get along too much with Kevin.
Well, Kevin has a different background. I said to you, Charles, I always got that vibe. He has more of an actor's vibe about him than a musician's vibe. Yes. And remember when we said that off air, you went, yes. Yeah, I remember that.
Let me
he has that actor's vibe about him.
Before I put these away.
No. Yeah, these are okay. What do you got here, Tony?
These are broke out this weekend for the holiday weekend. There's others for 2022. They nice. Put the U.S. flag and they're out jamming with these this weekend. Yeah, but there's other flags for other. But these are the latest for the Kiss tour.
Nice.
Right for nice Memorial Day. Yeah. Yeah.
Very cool.
Very
Memorial.
Cool. What a wonderful world we live in where, we can say, you know what? I need special picks for this show or these shows. Really? Okay.
All right.
Rock stars. Is there anything they can't do? No.
Yeah, I know. But those are broke out for the holiday.
Very cool stuff.
Yeah, new Kiss picks. I got a couple other new things. I'll get them out of the way. Cool. So we are going to have some trivia backstage later now, kids, and we're going to be playing. We're going to be playing for a prize too backstage. Let's just say this. I'm not going to say it on the broadcast because we kind of like to keep our parties private. And those who are in attendance tonight, thanks for being here. Yeah. This is a private party. It may get out of hand. I hope not. Don't tell anybody what happened.
I fully expect it to.
Let's just
say.
No
cell phone.
I'm not wearing pants. That's all I'm saying.
The winner's prize will have to be mailed in this.
Oh.
Okay. So Tony's packing heat.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah. So gonna have some more fun trivia backstage with our 4 May contestants.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That is gonna be and that's coming up.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So kids, I'll repost that link in the chat at the end of the broadcast. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll go ahead while I'm putting this stuff up and we're talking, and we'll get back on the US Festival because that was a great event and should be talked about.
Absolutely. Tony's multitasking.
And that guy right there was there. Our friend was, I mean, that's just, man, I was in the 11th grade and it was on our radar. I was a big Van Halen fan.
People in France were listening to it. It was worldwide.
We knew it was happening. Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't know about it. I guess I knew about it would be from the fold out of the Diver Down album with that photo. I'm like, where was that?
The fold out of the Diver Down was the final date on the Fair Warning tour when they opened up for the Stones.
Oh, that's what that
Tangerine
was.
Bowl.
I always get it mixed up. I'm blaming the backstage food. That's what I'm saying.
That was a good show too. They thought the tour was over, and they ended up opening a huge Stones outdoor show. Yeah,
like that would be cool. Van Halen and the Stones.
Yeah, no shit.
No shit like that. You know, and the Stones at that time, because that was right before they took their break, they were hot. Like, you know, we talk like Van Halen put on a show.
Let me give you
Holy
some
crap
eye
on a crowd.
candy.
Mick Jagger, like, excuse me, Freddie Mercury, you could hold a crowd in the palm of your hand. Mick would just be all Micking out, you know, and Keith being Keith, and Ronnie's being Ronnie, and Charlie's just there keeping time.
One of the best timekeepers in rock.
Yep.
There is no drummer on the face of the planet who was steadier
Oh,
than Charlie Watts.
yep.
He's a human metronome.
Man, was amazing.
Yeah.
Bill Wyman on bass.
And he played in a
Likely some background singer. Bobby Keys on sax, because why not? You know.
Check this out.
What you got?
Brand new.
Ted Smith, nice.
Oh,
Dude,
yes.
that's a great stick, bro.
The Funk Blast.
Little chili pepper.
Nice.
Yeah.
Always curious to see the size of the end of the stick that they use. It's usually a 7A or a 7B.
Yeah.
I only say that for picking up drumsticks for drummers over the years, and every band I've ever played, it's always 7A, 7B, 7A, 7B, 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 7A, 7B.
So
I got a deal on drumsticks. Like that. Oh, they have a markup in music stores. Holy crap on a cracker. Because I would get stuff like not even at store cost, but you know, a little above, so they still. And I think a pair of drumsticks are like normally $15 Canadian.
Oh,
and I was paying $5.
Well, I was on the whole screen.
It was just they're crazy. They like triple the markup on them. They're as much like guitar strings.
Yeah.
Actually, more than guitar strings.
That's
why my drummers love me. You can get drumsticks for $5 a pair.
These rascals out.
I used to. That's what they used to cost. $5-6.
Nice.
Yep.
All day long.
That's awesome. Look at that shirt.
That's cool.
Whether you wanted Regal Tip or Pro Mark, they were all there, and they were all the same price, pretty much. Then I remember when nylon sticks came out, I hated them. I mean, I wasn't a drummer. I just didn't like them. You know, they didn't feel right. They didn't feel right. But
cool.
I had a pair of nylon tip drumsticks, and I remember I picked up a drum kit used, and one of the first times I hit, the tip came off, and then it went through the snare, and I went, well, I guess I'm buying a snare skin as well as new drumsticks. Guess what I didn't get? Nylon tip drumsticks ever again in my life.
Nice.
That is really cool.
That's really, really cool, man. I had an original one of those, and one of my girlfriends got it. You know how many rock t-shirts I've lost to girlfriends, guys?
Oh, I can only imagine, Charles. You're not the only one.
You can't get them back.
I lost some cool racing shirts, too. Vintage racing shirts. Dang it.
You got another cool one coming, looks like, Ben.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, Ben, they wouldn't ship to Canada. They don't ship anywhere but the United States.
Nowhere
but the United States.
It's funny, as global as certain things are, it's part of its marketing, and part of it is there's still like, you still call up the track like you would your little short track, you know, local track. Hey, I need a campsite. Like my cousin, because he was the one that would get the sites every year, he talked to, I think her name was Kathy. And she was the same one.
If you get a lady with her and she calls you sweetheart or darling.
Yeah, she dealt with her friend Mike, who was renting like 16 sites at a time. Yeah. So he said, hey, can you start, because that's sort of like Sweetwater, you get your own rep. And because there's certain, and you build it, which is great because you build that camaraderie. And it's the same with a lot of the race teams. Like we would go to my cousin's favorite, I don't really have a favorite driver. We go to my cousin's favorite driver, and you know, as soon as they know Canada, they go, wait a minute. And they'd say to, you know, Waterloo. He's like, yeah, oh yeah, we know you. We got some, and immediately they're pulling out merch that isn't coming out till later in the year. And he's strutting around like a peacock around Charlotte Motor Speedway wearing the T-shirt that nobody has.
A little swag,
and won't until August.
Yeah.
So I get it. You know, it's very similar. You know, I guess it'd be like if bands had a rehearsal space, you know, that somehow like they rehearse in the back, maybe they have a studio, and then they have a lobby in the front with a merch store. You know, and you can come by and visit. And hey, you know, you have a few guitars on display. It's not the guitar they played on that album where it did that thing. And yep, that's it. Get a photo, you know. Can't do that. You know, maybe one day. Nashville, I'm looking at you. If anyone can pull it off, it's Nashville. You're already re-gentrifying. You've already ruined Broadway. So you might as well re-ruin it. Put in. You know, does Kid Rock need another bar in Nashville? Really?
No. But maybe the resident artists in Vegas maybe have something. I don't know. You know, I would imagine they would have like some permanent thing where you can just stop by and buy stuff. You know. But it is a good idea, though, Ben. You know, it is a great idea. You know. So who knows?
I'm blaming it on the green room snacks again.
Yeah. See. No.
Yeah. They treat you well on this channel, folks.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
All right.
So I was checking out Skid Row tomorrow night. Nice.
Oh, dude, Christopher, you are the rockinest dude I know. You and Keith Campbell. My goodness.
So also tomorrow night on the docket is Queensryche that none of us get to go to. But Sandra, Queensryche is playing in Madison, and Sandra and Ricky are going to Queensryche tomorrow.
Nice. Super cool.
So jealous. Right on.
That's cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
No problem. That would be a fun show.
And
I'm going to have these cats on with me on my channel tomorrow night.
So tomorrow night, the view might look like this.
Yeah.
It might look like this, though. It ain't gonna look like that.
It'll look like this, except Sandra will be going, I can't hear you. The band is playing. They're really good. Check it out. And then we solo. And then
there will be no streaming.
Keith Campbell's going to see our friend Larry Mitchell next Friday. Awesome. Please say hi to Larry.
Dude, that'd be really cool, bro.
Oh, it's amazing.
Larry's such a great guy. What an awesome guitar player and what a sweet guy. My goodness, man.
We're so fortunate. He's about as sweet as Charles Greene. I'm going to say it.
No, he's much sweeter. Don't even go there, bro.
You guys are both pretty sweet.
We're very fortunate, through David. God
Here, Ben.
bless.
Here.
Rest in peace, David, man.
I'm going to stay down here in the right corner. I'm going to hand you the mouse, and you can take over for at least the next 30 minutes.
Oh, great. All right. Yeah. Okay. This will be fine. Fine.
All right. It's on cruise control. All right. It's all you, Ben. Rock on, brother.
Sure. Preview for tomorrow night, folks. What do we got going on in the chat? All right. So Larry Mitchell, yes. Was fortunate enough. I had met him kind of through Dave, seeing him on YouTube, and I reached out to Larry when I had a small channel, like a couple hundred subs. Wow. And I said, hey, Larry, would you be interested? He's like, yeah, because it's Larry. And I said, hey, I'm going to have Dave Nestal on as well, because Dave knows Larry, and I don't really know that much about Larry at the time. And so we set up to do the show, and I think I've been doing YouTube 3 months, 4 months, maybe. Not that it's really any better now, but I'm waiting. Larry jumps on the call at the last second, and there's no Dave the whole time. And Dave finally messages me right before showtime and goes, oh, I'm playing cards with my mom. Larry's a great guy. Have a good time.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm just like, what? Fuck you, Dave. But Dave was right, because Dave's always right. And he's like, you don't need me. Larry's a blast. And we were having fun and made a new friend that night, as often happens on these shows when you have a guest on. They start as a guest, and by the end of the hang, they're a friend. And whenever I'm traveling and Larry's in the same area, we always try to make a point of seeing each other. And usually it's maybe a minute of, hey, how you doing? Great. You're on your, okay, because you're walking this way and he's walking.
Yeah.
Man's busy.
But still, though.
It's really cool.
I must say, Ben, looking at this view like this, it makes me think that I have laundry to do because every time I see you in the upper left corner, it's laundry day. You know.
You look way too relaxed down there, Tony. You look like you're on vacation or something.
Hey, got it, man.
Look, the more I think about it, we got to go see Maiden in Greensboro.
I know.
That'd be a good show.
We need to hook up.
They're again another band that's at this point. The nice thing is, you're not going to get a train wreck. Like all of our favorite bands, if they're out there doing it, they're a well-oiled machine. Unless you're Motley Crue, but unless you have Vince Neil talking for you. But other than that, pretty well. Stephen Pearcy's really trying to get Vince to hold his beer on occasion too. But you get Warren's tone and you get McMurray. So there you go. But we're guitar players, just lead singers. Let them prance around, do their thing. Don't worry about it. Just find out what side of the stage your favorite player's on. Try to get a ticket to that side and just watch them. And maybe if you're like Tony, you get a pick thrown in your eye or something. I don't know. Might happen.
It could happen. It could happen.
It could happen.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Look at that box.
It's different once you touch one of those things. You realize they're
like nothing
really
else.
structurally gnarly, man.
It's chunky. It's chunky.
Yes.
The Franken bass.
They're interesting to hold. Like just like you say, when you're moving it around because you're used to a certain balance with a guitar that isn't there, and it's like, I don't know. It's kind of like holding a hockey stick.
It's beautiful, man.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Thing I like about them. Another thing I really like about them is the fact that there's all one of a kind, unique. I've never seen two the same.
Nope.
I think we could do a 2-string hockey stick, Brendan.
I'm on.
Because then you just tune it to like whatever, right? G and D.
Sure.
But because I'm thinking the width.
I've made it. I
the
have
narrow
made
fretboard is what I'm saying, folks.
I have made a 2-string bass before. So they're
the Franken
You really
bass.
need more than 2 strings.
Yeah. Yes, the Franken bass. TK got the Franken bass.
Especially if your Wayland's bass player is just 1 5 1 5 1 5 1 5.
Driving home after listening to 2 days of music, and day one was good, you guys.
I'm sure.
I regret a little bit not staying. I just physically couldn't do it. It was ridiculous. I was not on my game. I wasn't going to be worth it while to anybody. I can imagine if I'd have slept in my car and got up the next day, I would have been worthless by noon, quite literally, and maybe even falling asleep from sleep deprivation because it was crazy. But I'm driving home, and I'm like 40 minutes into my drive, and I've still got a couple of hours to go. And it's the middle of the freaking night. It's like 2 a.m. at this time. And because when Van Halen left that stage, it was late. It was very late. And I'm singing Triumph songs in my head. It's what I was doing on my way home. I was so absolutely impressed with Triumph. It was the start of a whole new thing for me with that band. And I would tell everybody I saw, I said, dude, Triumph. And they'd be like, Triumph? Oh, this, you have no idea, guys. One of the best live bands I ever saw.
Mm-hmm.
That next year, too, like I was just flipping through Facebook, and in '84, they had something, the American Rock Fest in Kalamazoo at a ski area. Triumph, Ozzy, Quiet Riot, Motley Crue, Night Ranger, Accept, and Ratt. That's a lineup, man.
Wow. See, that's just as great too.
Yeah. So that was.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Like earlier when Charles mentioned like missing Def Leppard, I'm like, unless they're teasing Pyromania, I don't know if Def Leppard would be on that bill, right? If it had been another year, Pyromania's out, bam, and then.
Well, I was as big a fan of Def Leppard in 1983. In fact, I was as big a fan of Def Leppard in 1982 as I was of Motley Crue and other bands. I was really into Def Leppard when they came out. I thought they were
guys,
fresh
I'm
and
gonna
new.
repost that link. Hang on. I think there's not a space between the last word and the start of the link.
I see that.
Yeah, so here we
Come
go.
on.
One more take two.
See, this
Keith,
is what
Holly, and
happens when I'm
Chris,
trying to run
this
the
is for
show.
you. Right.
This is what happens.
Yeah, I saw it before I clicked it. There you go.
Oh, wow. So that was like a mini tour. Sarah was saying 4 cities in that week in Michigan.
Yeah, get your ass in the green room.
Yeah, grab that and stand by.
Yeah,
So let's count them. So let me get rid of. I got to get rid of this. Who sent me that? The clock. I can't get rid of this. I can add it.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Click
1,
on
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I don't know what he's talking about.
That's 6 and 4. Yeah.
Yeah.
Click on the 3 dots on the time clock there. Click on those 3 dots, and it'll say boot out of the studio. Just click on that.
Move from studio.
All
What
right.
Sandra always does
It's
to me
gone.
at the end of the show.
Thank you. All right.
What now?
No, I said what Sandra always does to me when she gets rid of the clock. Oops.
Yeah,
Wrong person.
there it is.
Yeah.
Sandra is the glue that holds things together around here. Just when you think sometimes you look around, you say, "Where's Sandra?" All of a sudden,
there she is.
There she is.
Poof.
Yep. Hurrah. There she is. There she is.
Oops. I was in the middle of the
So let's continue. Don't let me forget anything, Sandra, before we go off air here. Get ready for this party, and I got some food I want to heat up too. Yeah.
Just talk about Greg. Bring up Greg.
Oh yeah, all that. So, the guests are rolling in.
I'm hearing them popping in. Yep.
Yeah, and I'm watching them popping in.
I see Jack Daniels bottle being.
We're in trouble. We're in trouble.
Oh, yes. They're handsome.
All right. So let me
Good stuff.
Let me tell the kids what's in store for coming up. We got some tasty stuff coming up on the show. Let's get a better view. How about that?
Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
We got some goodness coming. Wednesday starting. All right. Where's it at? Goodness, I am excited about this.
I so enjoyed that Floyd Rose show. My goodness.
Yeah.
Wednesday on this show, Halenville, where we talk all things Van Halen every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Van Halen fans, Wednesday night, if you don't know already.
Very cool.
All right, but this coming week, we have our friend Craig Stofko. Look.
Craig.
Absolutely.
He, I don't know if you saw recently, he did a fabric top Wolfgang that is off the charts.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
He did for Rob from Testy Switch. It reminded me when I saw the t-shirt.
Yeah, cool.
Amazing.
Yeah, so Craig will be with us on Wednesday coming up. That's going to be a fun, cool
Then June 1st, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Wednesday, June the 1st.
And then June 4th. You want to pop that one up too or no?
Yeah, heck yeah.
Okay.
All right. It'll be a week from tonight.
Next week, I am a little. I wasn't expecting it. It kind of snuck up, but we started this 2 years ago. Coming up next week in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And this week Next week is episode 100.
100.
So if
Oh,
you
yeah.
can, if you
That's
can
awesome.
believe that we have
Great.
100 episodes of these, starting with Aerosmith back on June of
Yeah.
2020. Is
Yeah.
that right, Sandra?
Sounds about right.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
June the 7th, me and Steve and Sandra embarked on Show Me Your Pick with Aerosmith, and we've been rocking it for 100 weeks. You believe that?
Unbelievable.
That's crazy. Time
so
flies.
next week on our 100th episode, I kind of like the way that sounds. On episode 100,
Yeah.
Satch, how about it?
There you
Cool.
go.
Hell yeah.
Right
Satch.
on.
We get the set.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. Joe Satriani.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we'll be talking.
One of the
all-
latest signature guitars on the market. Man, those series are nice.
Vice teacher.
So, all right. So most of our May winners have arrived in the green room.
Awesome.
We're waiting on Chris Hunter. Chris, if you're still listening, dude, stand by. You can hang out. Look, let me count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 of
that's a
us.
party.
Tommy is not with us this evening.
No.
Yeah.
He may be resting up for tomorrow
Yeah,
night.
he's getting some much needed rest.
Good, good. Love you, Tommy.
Can't blame you. Yep, Tommy, we love you.
Yeah.
Kyan had a birthday this week, so Tom might still be recovering from that.
Yes, that's true.
You know.
Oh,
That is
And
true.
we'll
It's a
just-
big one too. Yeah.
Love you.
Yeah, love, miss you, man.
Yeah, man.
Lenny, Lou, and Mary.
Mm-hmm.
Love you guys. Love you guys.
so let me, before we
Keith,
get out of
heart
here.
hands for Lenny, Lou, and Mary. Just
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
And Analog Kid.
yes, and
yeah, miss you. Miss you.
Yeah.
yes.
So I thought they would be here by now, by this weekend rather, but they're not. He's a busy guy, but we love him. If you want guitar picks made, Greg at Legend Picks, he's your guy. Links are always in the description.
Mm-hmm.
Show me your pick. Show me your pick.
Oh yeah, right. I'm
Guitar
not watching
picks.
this on YouTube. I went to scroll down to open the link, and I went, right, I can't do that. I'm on StreamYard. Never mind. Carry on.
And so if you want a cigar box guitar, our guy custom handcrafts these wonderful, nice things to your specs. If you got an idea for one, contact Brendan.
Let me know.
Yeah. Yeah.
There we are. All right. We've got the link opened on another tab.
Nice.
We're
And
going to
if
order
you-
some picks soon.
If you want a guitar build, we know a guy at Daily
Yep.
Custom Designs, and he will certainly accommodate you. It'll be a wonderful experience.
Mhm.
Contact Neil. Links are in the description.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't wait. We've got guitars coming, Tony.
Yeah, we do. Both of us do. Yeah, so, all right. Yeah, so we got that out of the way.
Sorry.
Let's see where we are here. Where
That was
we
cat.
are. All righty. So,
No copyright.
yeah. Happy Memorial Day weekend, everybody. Be safe. Thank you so much for watching. Please
Thank you.
Look at
subscribe.
that freaking headstock. How cute is that? That's adorable. Badass and adorable. I love you,
With,
Brendan.
I believe, a slight nod to a BC Rich in that headstock. I see a slight
Yes. Yes.
I'll never give away my secrets.
nod. I'm just saying.
No,
Don't
and-
sue him.
All right, guys.
All right.
Awesome show. Awesome
Yeah.
event. we got to talk about. Thanks for having me, Tony. It's been awesome.
Yes, sir.
Let's continue the party tomorrow night.
Always a good time.
We will. So Ben, this guy's links are always here in the description on both shows, the Wednesday show and here.
Awesome, and thank you very much.
You got a Sunday hang every week, Sunday night,
I do,
8 p.m. Eastern.
Yes.
And you got Canucks with guitars on Monday at 8 every Monday, and it's a staple of our Sunday and Monday, and it should be of yours too. It's a great hang, great guest. Him, Tom, yes.
Terry.
And Terry.
Yep.
Not leaving Terry out.
Nope, don't leave me.
And if you're a NASCAR fan, Tuesdays 8 p.m. or 8:30 p.m. That's right, NAS Canucks, because
Canucks. Exactly.
I really don't put a lot of thought into my channel and show names at all. Clearly,
his links are always down below. But I'll see you. Hopefully, I'll see you in his chat. And tomorrow on the hang, Ben, you want to give the kids a clue of who's going to be hanging tomorrow?
that guy, and that guy. She's rocking out tomorrow night. Queensryche.
I am rocking out tomorrow night.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. As I stated earlier, she has a life, and which is if a kick-ass band's coming through the area, a filler or fillette, might as well go on out and check them out.
That's it. That's right. Yeah. So it's fair to say that by tomorrow night on the Sunday night hang on Ben's channel, we'll all still be here in the same chair, wearing the same clothes. We'll just keep going.
Change my shirt.
I went through basically the whole pack tonight.
I'm in a shower.
Thanks, Guitar Man. Thanks,
I might. We'll see.
Thank you, Edwin. Dave B. Jeff K.
You guys rock.
Yeah.
Everybody
thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. We'll be right back here next Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. Show me your pick for Joe Satriani right here.
Subscribe.
Yeah. And Wednesday night, Craig Stofko here on Halenville Live. Great show coming up. I'm excited to talk to Craig. This is going to be a good one.
It's going to be awesome.
Hell of a player, too. Hell of a player.
And we are going to roll it out of here. Thanks for watching. Sandra, Brendan B., Ben, Charles, Greene.
Okay.
Keep it between the ditches.
Be good.
Oh, my God.
Is this thing on?
Motherfucker.
What's going on?
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
Seem cold in here to you?